I read a Schopenhauer quote last night, and the quote was something along the lines of, when you read, you think with someone else's mind. And I thought that was one of the greatest ways to explain what reading can do for you. And it's really an inspiring thought because I think everyone can basically understand the idea that when you think differently, you will in some way affect your life. You will in some way affect change. And when you can break the cycle of your negative thoughts, when you can break the cycle of the things that are keeping you where you are, you can basically rewrite who you are. You can rewrite your destiny. You can rewrite your life. And, you know, I don't think enough people are accepting this idea. I don't think enough people are hearkening on this idea. Like, when you approach problems in a different manner, you are a different person. Like, whoever you are today doesn't have to be who you are tomorrow. We can actively change it. One of the best ways to change this is simply through reading, is simply through thinking things in a different manner, thinking things through one of a greater mind throughout the course of history. Like, let's face it, back in the day, you had to be a very, very, very good writer, a very intelligent person. You had to have something to say to become a published author. Nowadays, any dumb celebrity, any person who has some, gossip, who has some tea, who has, a story about something that people will want to read, can say something. But back in the day, you had to be a philosopher, you had to be a thinker, you had to be an artist, you had to be a poet. You had to have, in some way, had experience. And this is what is so inspiring to me about reading. This is what so much drives me to pick up one book and then the next one and then the next one and then the next one. And I really think we should all start embracing this, because the moment we start to embrace that there is something written down that can help you with your problems is the moment that we just have to open the book and our problems begin to be solved. And it's not something that's going to work instantly. It's not something that is going to just at the snap of your fingers, immediately work. You're immediately a new person. Immediately everything in your life begins to fall into place. But it's the accumulation of small actions, of small thoughts throughout the course of years that is going to make the biggest difference. Like, if you read one book today, then that's information you can pull from for the rest of your life. If you read one book today, then every single time this problem rears its head, you now have a tactic, you now have a strategy. Treat your knowledge, treat the things you read like compounding interest. Like, it may not serve you today, but it may serve you for the rest of your life. And this is an idea I really want you to embrace. And this is something that I really want you to start, holding in your head, holding in your mind, and understanding that, like, any little bit of information you gather today is an endless resource that you can pull from for the rest of your existence. And, it doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be something extraordinary. You don't have to go out and read Schopenhauer. I haven't even read Schopenhauer at this point. I know who he is, just because I've read, Nietzsche, just because I've read people like that, and they always just, talk shit about him. But, like, you don't have to go out and read anything complex. It could be something that's like a simple self-help book. You could read Think and Grow Rich. You could read How to Win Friends and Influence People. You could read 48 Laws of Power. You could read any book, but, like, I'm telling you, just start expanding your conscious, start expanding your perspective. When you see things through a different person's perspective, then you can see things in a manner that you didn't see them in the first place. And it's always through perspective. It's always through approaching a problem in a different manner that gives us the best solution. Because most of the time, our ideas, the tactics we're going to try to, use for a problem is very, very shaded. It's very, very biased, because we have emotions, because we have certain feelings, because certain ways we've succeeded in the past, but it's not going to work this time. And when we can get beyond our own ego, when we can get beyond our own ideas and our own senses of self, this is where we really start to gain mastery over this world. So I love you guys so much. Please, 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 I really urge you to pick up a book. I really urge you to start reading, even if it's just an audiobook, even if it's just a podcast that's talking about a book, even if it's just my videos. Please, please, please start exposing yourself to new ideas. Start reading more. Start trying to expand who you believe yourself to be. Start trying to expand the ideas that you have a mastery of. And through the course of this, your life will get a million times better. I love you guys so much. Peace out. I will catch you in the next one.